It's the hidden forest today. Nice. Oh, I really shouldn't be pushing myself too much. At the same time, I'm not pushing myself as badly as I have before. So I found a workable area that isn't too much on my mental state. Difficulty is telling when that changes, be it due to burnout or otherwise. I forgot to jump in earlier and grab all this before the new day started, damn it. Then again, being caught up in things and not having them go according to plan is... it's not the end of the world. Even if some part of my brain worries that it may be one day, it's not the end of the world right now. It's not going to be the end of the world anytime soon. Maybe the end of my world and how I understand how to navigate it. That's happened a few times before already. I'll survive, adapt, and overcome. Even if I don't have a choice in the matter. Doesn't mean I'm going to be very powerful, though. Because the whole point of real power isn't to use it. It's to know that you can respond and feel safe in your capabilities. This world is hell, this world is heaven. Things between are often unseen. Nice to see you too, guy. Yeah, if only I could get my brain to fucking focus on learning math properly. Oh. Okay, that line of thought was disgusting. Also, it was entirely unhealthy. Yes, let us copy another's desire into ourselves. No fucking thank you. I am tired enough of dealing and managing the number of desires and things we have already. Until we have those down on wrap for the rest of our life, I'm not going to fucking tolerate it. Understandable. Completely understandable. I don't want to overwork True neither. True Rune. Troon. I seriously need to take better care of my body. Hey, even if I'm not streaming, I'm still getting these in, so I'd say that's progress. Yeah. Besides, we don't want to burn out our ability to manage multiple things at once. We want to gently stretch it so that way it can grow without breaking. Because it's in trying to overstretch and push our limits too hard that we make mistakes and end up in dumb situations. Like this one. Much agreed, much agreed. Okay, then go over here, shift, fuck. If I had done that properly, I would have gotten like 34. Still, that was one of my best runs yet. Yeah, no. What I wouldn't kill for neurotypical's ability to fucking focus on things without losing track of their environment. And hey, maybe we're just averaging that into neurotypical because there are some people who exceed the standard and everyone else is just kind of everywhere else. So then I want the capability to do so in regards to an exception, not a average. But to aim for that without pacing myself would actually hurt me more than it would help me. So instead it's better to aim for average as my current goal and look for exceptional as my long-term one. Oh, lovely. Oh, come on! Bitch! Motherfucker! Damn it! It's no fun if I don't have people to compare myself against. After all, I don't memorize my fastest times for a reason. I don't keep track of my own score for a fucking damn reason. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Well, that was a new experience, so we learned something. I'm still annoyed that my best time of yesterday fucking only got me a silver medal just because I wasn't in a lobby with other people. Honestly, that pisses me the fuck off. Yeah, I earned 2 points. Oh. Ooh, managed to get a few. Closing ceremony in 22 hours. Bitch, we are in the lead. So much so we're surpassing the main platform. Awesomeness. Oh yeah, no, I have a competitive streak in me. I just try to refrain from it too much. Too intense and it turns toxic. Too little and there's not the will to try and go beyond my best. No will to try and improve. Maintaining a balanced imbalance is the key to any concept in life. Finding out which imbalances work in a balanced way is even more difficult. Because it's going to be different first person, different for system, different for mental state and mind. Let me sit on that. Well, fuck you too. There we go. Aww. Oh well. So long as I think of something as fun, I'm able to focus on it. However, burnout can still affect me, which is incredibly frustrating. Don't tell me it's doing this stupid thing again. Let me leave. Oh, fuck you too, game. Stop trying to retrieve a connection that isn't even good, game. What the fuck? What is the hang-up here? I'm curious as to the inner workings of the log. At the same time, I'm not curious enough to fucking open things up and check. Quit. Yes. Relaunch after it stops being green. Oh no, I just wanted to get past the menu. On one hand, I'm glad they have escape as a consistent leave for the menu and stuff. On another hand, I wish on the title screen it would just let you enter the game. Well, I mean, I can use this still. Is it gonna be faster than flying down to the circle, though? Probably. What do you mean, probably? Who knows, it could be the same amount of time either way, we're not testing it right now. Fair enough. I know I said I liked competing, but by damn it, that doesn't mean I want to wait for 50 people in one lobby. The ability to correctly judge win or win height. Win or win. Whether or not your life is on the line. It's a good one. Sometimes you don't want to know, because you're able to do things that you otherwise wouldn't. At the same time, would that then be fair to other people or no? You're thinking about fairness in a world like this? Yes, I'm a fool. Continue dealing with it. Of course, I'm part of you. Remember, bitch? I'm not going to be able to get that one. I mean, I could have gotten it if I were to think ahead a little, but there's only so much thinking ahead I can do before I start losing touch with reality. Every skill has its limits, every way of compartmentalization, its weaknesses. Why else do you think information is so highly coveted in this day and age? And that's not just in regards to the internet, tactical information too. After all, the ability to predict your opponent makes things a lot easier. It means you actually have more control over things. Fuck you! Oh well, it was still a decent score. That would actually make sense as a parallel connection in the human brain. If you don't have an interest in it, you're not as keen to insights that your unconscious may pick up on. As such, they won't share it with you because you don't go asking. And or it understands that you don't consider this a priority. There's gotta be a way to circumvent that limitation. That way I can... Oh, joy. Troon, girl. I understand you want to immediately start trying to build it, but we've already got a whole bunch of other stuff going on in the background. Just because we've considered it doesn't mean we need it. Oh, just because we considered it doesn't mean we want to have it right away. To rush into that would be to set ourselves up for failure. And I'm pretty sure Trace has finally learned her lesson on that for now. Three racers and we go. I'll practice that some other time. Oh, that helped. Oh. Who says I'm pitying anyone? I'm rooting for them. Even if they don't need it. Because if they don't need it, then hey. All I'm doing is wasting my time, not thinking lesser of them. Yeah, no matter how I look at it, there's no two ways about it. I've definitely got a bit of crazy in me, but at the same time, I don't want that to become my defining fucking feature, no thank you. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to live any kind of life at all. I'll just be a hollow, empty idea of a person. A mockery of what I can be as a regular individual. I don't want to live like that, no thank you. I wonder if I'll ever run into a situation where being like that would be required. Because on one hand, that would be nice as a learning experience. On the other hand, that would be hell. Because joy, oh joy, that certainly would not be a calm or fun situation. To have the experience would be nice, but to go through the pressure would not. Let alone if I get harmed by the pressure. Let's wait for one more orb to spawn. One more orb to spawn. Psychological state degradation from pressure increase. Singularity that isn't confined by its event horizon, but rather protected by it. Even in a conceptual sense, that's difficult to achieve. So that would mean being able to influence your own proportional weight on the universe. You'd be able to travel through the fourth dimension like that, I would say. Be it in possibilities or otherwise. Of course, I could easily be delusional, so hey, no need to take me seriously. Oh, and I'm going to love knowing that there will be some people later on who hear this and just start running in circles because they think I know something, or they think I'm onto something even if I don't know it. And it's like, okay, that's your choice to make, but by damn, if you're panicking over my ability to influence you from a time since past, then you've already lost. You've already considered that me being able to influence you is of greater priority than you being able to find your own path. which in and of itself then actually inhibits you and prevents you from being able to grow. Which is why I try not to let myself panic about things I don't know. The only time I will panic is when, hey oh hey, something I don't know is actively making my life difficult. And I don't just mean inconvenient difficult. If I did that, I'd be so rude and uptight around others that I wouldn't even be able to socialize. God, I'd be a fucking Karen, too. Meanwhile, if I didn't do anything at all, then there would be no point. It's really kind of frustratingly nuanced. Because on one hand, all these simple things line up together and make a whole realm of possibilities. On the other hand, no individual thing. I hope they're okay, dear hell. No individual thing is ever going to be everything. The higher the resonance, the more the information will have an impact. But the lower the resonance, the more that you will have just traded information for time on no good reason. Everyone should have the right to a simple life, but that doesn't mean everyone should be forced to operate under the same rules. To do that is to deny one person's simple life for another person's simple life, purely on ideology, which is the most abhorrent problem in the world right now. No, the terrifying thing about concepts and details between concepts is that they can self-reference, near infinitely. So what happens when you self-reference after referencing something else? Well, you get a nuance. Okay, what happens when that happens again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again? Well, then you've got one hell of a nuance. Very wobbly line, threading its way through multiple territories in a weird and confusing manner that somehow flows but doesn't. Out of sync with each portion, yet in sync as a whole. Flow state, absurdity. Okay, but if flow state is absurdity... No, they are not the same thing, they are very closely correlated though. Because one needs the other to exist. Okay, but does that mean contrasts need each other to exist? No. Contrasts can exist because of one another, but to necessarily require a contrast in order to exist would fundamentally break down everything that makes up reality. No, more likely than not, a contrast will exist simply through Ooh, the existence of a concept reflecting upon itself while going through denial or abandonment territory. In such a way, then, the opposite will always exist, even if it's unconventional. Okay, but what happens when you don't do that? Well, then you start coming into parallels, overlapping territories, and otherwise. Oh. What? You bitch. Motherfucker. It means I missed one in the arena. Why do they do this? To mess with people. Then it's probably randomized, so this wasn't an actual intention on part of the developers, unless by some chance it lines up with this moment of us analyzing it. So in that regard, now, does that mean another concept couldn't have pushed or prodded it? Yes, but what would be the tactical move for doing so? And if so, what would be the price paid for doing so? Honestly, when you get into that line of thought, the world is fucking terrifying. Because it's like, okay, I'm me, but I'm also not the only me out there. And yet I will always remain this me. How do I consider and understand other versions of myself without denying either of us the life of either of us? Or pulling one's own self-identity away from someone? Because that is still necessary to live and survive in the world. Last thing I want to do is fucking hurt someone. I'm playing games with the mind, and I'm the one who's gonna get hurt if it goes wrong. Better I play these games of the mind with myself than with others. And if I'm ever forced into a situation where I have to use this skill set in order to navigate something, then by damn, I'm gonna give it my best to make sure that the other person can recover. Yeah, I'm stating myself clearly and openly right now. But that's because I know it'll take a few years before someone ever finds this, if they ever do. After all, I'm another statistic on the internet. Another person and human in this world. Only ever become important to someone if I overlap with their area of life. And or their social circle. Area of life and social circles are intricately tied together, just like flow and absurdity are. Yeah. Noted. Ooh, hello, new detail. I don't care if I fucking get pushed up against a wall. It means I don't have to wait around for the fucking wall to acknowledge me in-game. Yeah, I know, this is all very overwhelming. Doing a good job and not trying to force me away from it. I'm proud of you, you know? Yeah. Oh, hello there. Feels like I just met a new friend. You know what, let's take a little journey together, seeing as we're both collecting candles. Game, no! Fuck you too! Okay, so that actually gives me ideas for the entire system my fictional self could follow. Casual connections, temporary connections, meetings of chance. Different fucking categories for all this different shit. And of course I went too high. Fucking map. Just let me fucking land! Okay, good. Fucking... Ay, ay, ay. Now, why the hell would I go through a race that I know is boring either way? Sure, flying races can be fun when you have varying obstacles and courses. When they're all the same, it gets pretty damn boring, because then the only thing you can do is refine your skill set instead of, you know, practice your initial reaction time. Your ability to understand and adapt around an environment in a short amount of time can be the very thing that cuts life from death and back into your hands. Be it the environment of a physical place, of a social space, or of someone else's mind. I can say all of this and sound really cool, but let's be real here. I can't put this into words. I can only talk about vague terminologies, instead of specified concepts and jargon within that terminology. What I'm saying is, I can't teach this to anyone, and so that is where I struggle. Also, even if I could teach this to someone, they'd have to... one too many complications around that. The first being, okay, how do I know this person isn't going to fucking use this against other people, because holy shit, normal people deserve to live their lives. It's like, you don't. Okay. So. Damn it, my brain defaulted. It would be easier to say our brain faulted on what our intention was for a moment there with our sentence. Yeah, but it's like, fucking how do you phrase that properly when you're failing to find a word? You don't. You use the next best thing and then clarify yourself afterwards. The basics of communication 101. And if you can't get it immediately, then take your fucking time instead of trying to rush it. Easier said than done. With us, yes indeed. When it comes to someone else's fucking stress and... I am glad I don't live like this all the time. If I did, I would be in a constant state of panic. That, and we would be operating on fight or flight, like, what? More often than not? Hey game, how about you stop blinding me with this cutscene? Fuck you. Ah. Okay, so one up top, one by gate, one out there, and one out there. Yeah, that's all four. Alright, so oranges, orange, recharge from jellyfish. Got it. That second one is practically cements why I like doing this area. Not only is this a great path for getting light and or wax pieces, because they call it collecting light, and sure, that makes a little bit of sense, but it's like, okay, then is everything made out of light in this world? Because there's obviously things of darkness, so the answer to that is no. Okay, so then how the fuck do you create a candle out of light? Would it need to be a commonly available resource that, like, couldn't run out in order to mix together with it? Light and earth candle? I don't like that idea. Just feels too crude. I can bet someone's done it, though, in making their own game of elements and whatnot. Sorry for disturbing you, crabs. I will be leaving now. Mental indigestion from overthinking. Such a lovely thing. The fact that it's practically a passive that we have to actively suppress is not fun. Well, would we have phrased it like that if we weren't currently reading a specific webcomic? Yeah, we probably wouldn't have. See, that's the thing about knowledge without experience. On one hand... Oh god, my voice. Oh, on one hand... Oh, fuck you too, brain. Fuck you too. Certain default states are harder to grow out of, or have growth originating from, especially when certain conditions and or restrictions are applied to the origin that caused that state in the first place. What the fuck? Oh well. Let me. Thank you. Too bad you can't spend an ascension candle on a bench or some social area. Make it last, like, what? A few hours? It would be neat. Would then also make it more difficult for players who want to save up ascension candles, adding a whole another dynamic to the game. However, that would also mean that the friend system of the game wouldn't be as prioritized for communication and or, you know, keeping in touch with people. Because if you can just talk for a few hours by spending a candle, versus spending 3 normal candles to talk permanently, which one's the better option? Well, it would depend on the situation. After all, not everyone is going to want to go up the friend skill tree like that. On the other hand, not everyone's going to have ascension candles in that regard. True, you have to consider new players as well. Also, wouldn't that be like creating a conversion ratio of 3-to-1? That stuff? Yeah, no, good counterpoint there, too. I'm glad I don't think I can get away with shit. Why? Because it keeps me from doing dumb shit! Sure, some people may try to use that against me, and for them I say, thanks for the experience. I'll try and predict you better. And if I can't do that, then I'm just not going to give a shit. After all, it's in not focusing solely on one thing that one can remain unpredictable. Stand still in one place to move it around in another. Be that concepts, spaces, or otherwise. Of course, people with black and white thinking won't be able to really understand that, but maybe it will break through to a few of them. I hope I can figure out other ways to fucking break through to people who are stuck with black and white thinking due to survival mode. Because no one deserves to live their entire fucking life in that, even if they do eventually adapt to it. Oh, hello, you look very lovely. Goodbye. Fleeting encounter? No, that's different from what just happened. A fleeting trace? A fleeting trace. On one hand, this has good flow. On the other hand, it covers a lot of distance. Just because something flows doesn't mean it's efficient. It just means it feels good to do it in that way. Oh, fuck yeah. That was awesome. I need to do that again. So if I did it right, it was land, be going into a balloon, and then take flight. All within like milliseconds of each other. Hello. Not quite what I wanted. I could check underneath the bridge, but I don't feel like that's really ever worth it. Someone who can make a more thorough path that eats up less time is definitely going to outpace me, but I'm not worried about that. Because I don't plan on going for the goals they're running after. I just want to have fun. I don't want to just constantly be criticizing and competing. The taste of victory sure is sweet, but by damn, the threads of glory tarnish easily, motherfucker. Damn, it's actually cooperating with me today. Oh yeah, it might be less so a case of the... Oh, no, 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 no. Please do not grow back. Thank you! Funny thing is, order matters in terms of efficiency, but at the same time, it is not the end-all be-all of efficiency. Because sometimes you can do two things in the different orders and still end up at the same time unless you know a nuance of doing them. I'm gonna take a moment to be right back. I need to refill my water if I'm gonna keep rambling like this. Somewhere in France, Chase? Oh, how unfortunate. Well, fuck you too, crabs. Fuck you too. Alright, when's the next one you gonna get angry at me? Oh, just getting hits in while Flicker isn't here? Didn't think so. Motherfucker. On one hand, I'm glad the thing burned down. On the other hand, I wish the crabs hadn't gotten unflipped somehow. Should have kept the camera angle on them, so that way I could have a recording of the server transition active. Just because I wouldn't consider the possibility doesn't mean someone else wouldn't. And thus, they have had a completely reasonable reaction when they are ill-prepared to deal with such things. Mental shadowboxing. Yeah, but instead of using it to actually refine any fighting skill, I'm using it to refine my ability to understand and empathize with other people. To make sense of what they do and or at least give myself a suitable explanation so as to stay calm and not overreact. After all, the only thing I can do is guess. I can't actually know until things have happened. Until it's confirmed or unconfirmed. Confirmed, denied, or left in stasis. So my mind is still worried about it then, no matter what I do? Pretty much. Wait, well, I've made a mistake. Yes. Let's rectify that quickly. I knew I forgot something. I always forget something when things are flowing along. It's the only natural state I've ever known, so I'd rather acknowledge it happening than accept that things are going fine. That time, I didn't recognize my own limits. That time, and then this more recent time, I failed to communicate properly in ways that was actually, reasonable. Because I trusted myself well enough to pull out some of these moves, but the other person clearly didn't trust me and didn't have a damn good reason to do so, so I can't even fucking blame them. And yes, I am saying this in recording because hey oh hey, it's not gonna be the end of the world. If anything, it'll be old history by the time someone starts poking into it. That'll be fun. I hope by then I'll be able to just fucking acknowledge it in the cringiest corner of myself and take responsibility instead of feeling like I need to panic apologize. That would be nice. here. Nope. Then here we go. No auto. Fair enough. Different pressure levels of an area, I swear. On one hand, it gives game creators good design control for enforcing boundaries and limitations on the player. On the other hand, the inconsistencies with the skill set can be frustrating as hell. So if I ever try to do something like this, I should keep that in mind, such that it feels fair and not punishing. It would be a lot better if you knew how to do the fucking basics first. True. But we're not in the mental state to learn the basics right now. Even if we were able to force that mental state to do so, would not be our benefit. So it's either wait for our mental state to change such that we can focus on it, or make tiny little notes and observations aloud, so that way the back of our mind can hold on to at least some fragments of our understandings for later on learning. From fragments come puzzle pieces come images come structures come meaning comes purpose. Absolute connection is not the end-all be-all. Absolute isolation is not the end-all be-all. It's just this weird little absurd nuance that drives people crazy when they try to learn it. Because it's like, okay, shut off the brain, live, be. Great. You've attained state 1 of this process. Would you like to continue by learning more? Most people don't, because let's be real here. It is fucking unreasonable to try and do that. I am an insane bitch, not a healthy one. Oh, fuck, if I had kept my original momentum. Oh well, time to check under the bridge. Yep, figures. There aren't any treasure candles here today, brain. Stop looking elsewhere. And our body is reacting with stress because being like this is usually reserved for times of stress, even though we're actually in a pretty chill environment. Which is part of the reason why we're letting ourselves do this. Alright, we're going home. At least I can't drown like this. Make use of the curse, don't let it make use of you. Like the idea behind refining poison. If you use it as just if you view it only as a detriment, then you are wasting your ability to understand and better react to such a situation. Be that psychological poison or otherwise. Now sure, some people aren't suited for that kind of training, and by goodness, by none, by everything, it's not a good way to protect yourself. It's a wild way, not an efficient or safe way. If you have to apply this in any part of your life, I hope it's not with actual fucking poison. Dear hell, that would be absolute insanity. Well, yeah, because then you'd be testing your body's limits without actually understanding, okay, how do I help nurture these limits so that way they get stronger and can tolerate more things without breaking them? Because it's in overreaching that we hurt ourselves and hurt the foundations of our growth. At the same time, we can't neglect the foundations of our growth, and I'm pretty sure anyone who's actually sat around long enough to listen to all of that in these recordings can see why we prefer this game over sci-fi ones. We're more contemplative. Frustratingly so. I already did the music, I already did everything else, I got the candles from there and there and there. Let's just do the fucking trial rooms. Let's also get the candles here though. Yeah, good idea. Nice. I really am just a fool. A fool who's read, like, what, 1,000 stories? Be they children's books or otherwise. Have I actually read 1,000 stories? I doubt it, but it's definitely a large amount. Oh yeah, that's a fun memory. Getting so bored in the middle of class, you actually start reading the textbook and find it interesting. Only for the teacher to call on you like, hey, you following along? You here with everyone else? And it's like, bitch, I was past that 20 minutes ago. The fuck are you on? I actually have an interest in this. Why are you bothering? Thankfully, my brain was able to recall the information over what they had just said, because it was passively listening in the background while it was focusing on the text in the book, and we had already read that portion, so it increased our ability to recall it in that moment. We've been chasing that somewhat, but at the same time, if we chase it too much, well, then that's going to cause problems for us, hence why we haven't focused on it mainly. I may envy some people's ability to multitask, but I'm at least able to acknowledge that multitasking comes from automating processes within your own mind and understandings of doing things. It is not something where you can just focus on multiple things at once. That would be parallel processing, not multitasking. You can do parallel tasks, but you can't have parallel focus. Not until you get to a certain state of mind, and even then, that's unreliable. It still looks so shiny, though. Delusional bitch 101. I want to be able to do dual processing. Because it seems like a semi-feasible concept, even if it's not feasible in the way I think it should be. Just like anything else of reality. to acknowledge it and know that it exists means that it is possible. But the constraints on how it's possible may not line up with how we want to imagine the concept. You can identify the core and the simplicity, simple ease of use of a concept. But, by damn, identifying the reality of a concept where it intersects with other concepts is an entire other challenge and a half. It's the reason why we've got fields of study called science. Why there are things that are considered myth and untrue, but that people still research to this day because those interesting parallels just resonate in the brain a little. Make for a telling story, or an insight into a possibility, even if it's not the current reality. Because once you view the core of a concept, you've been engulfed by it. However, that doesn't necessarily mean something good every time. Wait, why am I doing this? Shit! It's like priority order on a computer. You can line several things up to do it once. But if something's got higher priority and is taking up the action slot, then... like hell you're gonna be able to do it. You would need more RAM. Let's not even get into the parallels between humans and computers. Because of your biological singularities. Oh, my mind can go a million different directions. It's so fucking lovely and so fucking terrifying. Get the big clam, get the big clam, by damn it, get the big clam, the smaller ones can wait. Is this the big one or the small one? Big one or the small one? Fuck. Okay, so no clam on shore. Just because you can consider a possibility doesn't mean that it's going to work the way you want it to. Perfect doesn't exist, and we just kind of have to accept that fact. I just had the idea of if I could move my mouse instead of in a 2D space to a 3D one, so that way my angle would be different. And I could point my character down while also looking at them from a side view. That would be nice. As it stands, that's a limitation. Oh. Okay, so that might be how... No, I doubt that's how birds think. You prioritize direction as one order of magnitude. You then keep in mind space. Oh. Well, that works out. So direction, volume available around, and then angle. Yeah, that sounds right. Having that as an primal circuit etched into your brain, though, is quite the thing. Truly, I envy birds on that level. Again, this could be mean muttering nonsense. Modifying route. Yeah, I'll use the geyser to go up. And I'll also take care of this area. What in the fuck? Oh, it's you. That works out pretty well. Simple modification actually may make for a more interesting route. I'm not gonna worry about whether or not we get light from the turtle. I don't have the sanity. Fucking game, I wish you would stop with your bullshit. I really wish you would stop with your bullshit. But of course, because we are toddling the young people who don't know how to do things, it's like... Like, hey, this is key information, you should probably pay attention to it. Pulls your controls away and puts you into a cutscene for a damn good reason. Alright, the information's over, you can play now. Be it the script of a story, or otherwise. Should probably get Baldur's Gate 3 at some point and just fucking play it. Be interesting to see what the team behind D&D has been up to when it comes to making an actual branchable story narrative. With characters that aren't just pre-written to the plot, but more so dynamic expressed individuals. Sure, they may not be entirely authentic and 100% fear-driven, but it's as close as you're gonna get in this day and age. That's the one weakness of apathy, is that it overlooks emotion and considers it not necessary. In doing so, it disregards the powerful impact that emotions have on people's lives and habits, on the considerations and details between the relationships built off of those emotions. Well then, fuck you too, I was trying to get to a comfy spot. After all, being down by the tail is not always comfy. I'd much rather be closer to the head. There we go. Overthinking. Can I fit in this video? I can do just way too much of it. Because in order to navigate by concept, you have to stay still in action. In order to navigate by action, you have to stay still in concept. To do both in parallel requires experience, no matter how much you try and twist anything around. And if no one's willing to create those experiences, give those spaces, and teach people, then how the fuck are people supposed to learn? At the same time, if people aren't going to actively and respectfully take the proper understanding that what they're being taught is important, then how are they going to fucking make sure people actually do things properly instead of stress cramming? And that's even regarding other people's desires and livelihoods, because things we want other people to do, but what they themselves want to do can be completely different and contrasting. Which is the whole reason why the world is a complicated place. Fucking damn it. Oh yeah, I need to add this song in. Clear, close. We also need to work on creating a manual fucking limiter on the amount of conscious and subconscious communication between both parts of our brain. Because on one hand, the consciousness can deal with some things and it can't others. Meanwhile, the subconscious can deal with some things and can't others. Both parts are necessary, and the space between is just as necessary. But to cut off each section into segments would restrict flow, so instead you have filters. However, filters are imperfect because they don't know how to deal with random situations. Filter gates. Oh, ew, I hate that concept. Yeah, exactly, I hate it too. Because it takes the worst qualities of both and merges them together. Okay, so what about the pre-packaging and transition phase? Well, yes, but then that creates more lag time, both in computer networks and in mental processes. Sure, if you've got enough parallel processors, you can neglect it, but if you do that, then you're just going to eventually start wasting tons of energy. And on a biological system, that is not viable. Because energy is a limited resource unless you want to actually improve the body and focus on its own state of being. In which case, you can then get lost in the action of doing so, which in and of itself can become a problem. Because then you can either start identifying with, okay, I'm healthy, I take care of my body, and that's part of my identity. Which, yes, in some way that is an aspect about you, the fact that you've made that choice and have made progress in it. However, that does not mean it defines you as a person. I could talk in circles, confuse others, and use it to my advantage. I don't like doing that, because there's no real point in it. There's no real point in doing all of that. Because then you trade actual trust for control. And if people see that you're only trying to control them, then why the fuck should they listen to you for the rest of their time? when you're not even thinking about their life. Unfiltered, flicker, unfiltered, here and now. Fuck! Wanderer, migrant, drifter. Damn right. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to respect the places I visit, for fuck's sake. I'm not better than someone, I'm not better than something, I'm not even better than a fucking concept, because I am a concept. People are concepts, but not all concepts are people. It's one of those interesting things, where the more you try to draw boundary lines, the further you get from a universal application of it. However, the nuances that need to be considered between are what make up the line in a vague sense instead of a solid straight one. So in that sense, if you could document all the nuances in different situations that have to do with something, and create a rulebook that can inform and guide people on decision making in that regard, even when they don't have that nuance, then that would be possible. However, would that rulebook then be sentient? Therein lies the big problem. Hence why some people are absolutely fucking terrified of the idea of emergent intelligence and/or superintelligence through artificial AI. But you gotta realize, at some point, the first singularity wasn't a computer. It was a human. And the next step in singularity isn't going to just be achieved in a machine. First. It'll be achieved in a person who contributes to that machine, to its structure and layout because of the understandings they have. However, the ability to do so requires multiple fields of knowledge that are all fucking insane and contrasting against one another. This is why we like to keep our brain in a half-awake state and/or sleeping. Because what use is running in circles if you can't actually move anywhere? Sure, you can run in circles to build up speed and momentum, be that in fiction or reality. But the size of the circle matters, and the ability to exit out of the circle and carry that speed and momentum in different directions also matters. It's not just an end-all be-all absolute. It's an interconnected network. Before you can have a person, you must have an animal. If you have a person without any animal instinct at all, any basics or regular functions, then, by goodness, it'll be up to that concept of a person. Oh god, how do you define that? Because on one hand, there's someone's concept of a person, but on the other hand, they're not my concept of a person because they're missing fundamental traits, i.e. the instinct and/or awareness of the idea that instincts and having a wild side is inherent to being a person, even if one doesn't indulge in it. I'm glad I did not fall off that ledge. I don't know how I made it, but I'm glad. Oh, did I miss my bus? Oh, I missed my bus. Oh well, it's a pretty short bus, so yeet! Fuck! Well, I'm glad I didn't die that pathetically. On one hand, one should not fear death, for in doing so they will confine themselves and their ability to live. However, one should not just blindly embrace it either, lest they cut short their chances in an ever-evolving situation to cycle of opportunities. I've gotten better at lighting that candle without setting it off. Oh fuck, I should have pressed left more. Here we go. Well, I'm glad it pinned me up against the wall. I don't feel like skipping checkpoints tonight. What was that? Ooh, this song. Fucking little me in kindergarten, grade school, whatever. Oh, let's run around and be the fastest location so that way people can talk with me. That's how I'll socialize. Fucking fundamental core memory found. Oh, I'm not gonna do that. Oh, it's not like I missed the bus. Right on. Right on. Why the fuck would you suppress yourself like this? Again, A. Maintaining this state of mind is not always a good thing. It uses up a lot of energy, sometimes it even overflows to the point where, hey oh hey, we cannot sleep because of how many possibilities and ideas we're comprehending per moment. Legitimately, that has happened and I hate it. After all, possibilities and moments are all great and good until they start affecting your ability to actually act. No! There may not be a single sacred thing in the world, but that doesn't mean some things aren't worth fighting for. Okay, I barely recovered that. Damn it. New experience, though. Right there, right on, right there, right on, right there, right on. Right on. Right on. Go on. Oh god, and that's yet another reason why I don't want to be like this all the time. Cult personality. Ew. Ew, 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 ew. fucking misconceptions and idealizations of someone make it harder to actually communicate with the real person you are face to face with and or trying to connect with. Fucking ugh. Separate the nuances such that you have what you want while being there for what you don't want. And increase the distance until they loop back around and overflow back into each other to create an absolute piece of absurdity. Take two extremes to their limits, and then crash them against each other, and the whole spectrum is born. Ah, fuck. I jumped. It's like, oh, you could do fucking so many different fields, and it's like, yeah, but that wouldn't really be fulfilling. Sure, I could get into philosophy day in, day out, but then that would be isolating ideas and fundamentals of reality away from the active environment in which they occur in. Sure, you might get down to a literal definition of what good and evil are, but in doing so, you rob yourself of the ability to enjoy the moment. At least that's what I believe. If I can run into someone who can show me how to do that while also not losing touch with the moment, that'll be fucking awesome! But you don't know if they'll actually care enough to teach it to you. True. But hey, even a glance encounter would at least teach me a few things. If not consciously, then at least subconsciously. Oh, I am glad I am slowly getting tired. I feel like speaking in eldritch tongues, but I don't know how to. Fucking damn it. Someone who can speak concepts purely and directly. That would be terrifying. Especially if that was around, like, you know, a young person or someone who hadn't even formed their own identity yet. Because then you can carve and... I hate the places my mind takes me to. I hate the places my mind takes me to. And yet I still end up in them all the fucking same. Okay, good. I didn't touch the ground. Low enough for this! Yes! Here we go! Why are we chattering to ourselves like this at 3:15 in the morning? Because it's fucking habit. Wait, we're trying to make this a habit? Why? A, time to unwind, process things, and also get a recording in. Practice our conversational skills in being both our unrestrained self, while also still trying to keep track of what it would be like for people who are completely out of their depth to try to keep up with this conversation. You'd have to be a fucking prodigy, I swear. And that's me saying this from my level of insight and skill set. Because the deeper you go into a field, the more you need specific methodology to describe nuances. Such jargon gets created. However, the public space of jargon and the applied space of jargon are two completely different things. Which makes communication all the harder when you're informed in a field, because it's like, okay, how many of these fuckers are actually willing to try and teach someone else this shit? Because until they do that, they're not going to be able to communicate. And that's not even keeping in mind their baseline level of social skill, because that can have an impact too. People who pride themselves on being smart only to then isolate themselves away from others just because they don't understand something basic about socializing. No thank you, I don't want to live like that for the rest of my life, fuck off. I want to be able to learn from everyone, even the dumbest idiot out there. Doesn't mean I'm going to actually take the time to try and learn from the dumbest idiot out there, but hey, better to try and reach for it and learn something in the process than do nothing at all. Alright, we're back to our hell grind. Hello again, motherfucker! Want to clip that corner? Nope, too late. You have not made it. Your life will now be taken, and your progress reset. Okay, at least it's just progress reset. You are now 5 years old, and the world is the same as it was before, but nothing will ever be the same again. Okay, fuck you. Wouldn't that be fucking terrifying? You get a chance to redo everything, but in doing so, you know that everything will change, nothing will remain the same, and thus you are still left in the unknown, with only a fraction of the knowledge you would want. See, that's the real challenge. Flicker is insane, Flicker is insane. You sure about that? I'm definitely not productive in the way society likes, that's for sure. That's for sure. You need to get better at pronouncing things. You need to get better. Want to get better at pronouncing things. Want to get better at singing. Want to get better at so many things. But if I don't create a priority order, then I'm not going to get any of them done. However, if I don't prioritize correctly, then I'll be wasting my time. Such is the indecision crisis. How do you best solve it? By not thinking at all and just doing what you want. For what you know how. Ooh! Hell to the yeah! Might as well have said, ooh baby, a triple! Oh, that is so outdated. Let's go. I'm already dead. So what the hell will you even do? Man, I accept my insanity and use it to my own benefit. Fuck you. Why? Because I recognize that I'm in this state of... I'm capable of recovering from it. Be that my state of mind or otherwise. Also, new progress percent record. Not the quickest time, but it's still better than before. Fucking hell, yes. I am not dangerous because I'm malicious. I'm dangerous because I'm a fool! So if you follow me, acknowledge that you're essentially tying yourself to a fool, and that in and of itself makes you another fool. Oh. God, am I even gonna remember any of these when I want to say them? Probably not, because this is all kind of just us playing around with our language and preparing for situations that we don't know if it will actually happen. Yeah, and that's the folly of us. If you don't have a certain level of assuredness that something will happen, then there's no point in preparing for it. Okay, guess I'm staying on the ice over here. Bruh. Bruh. I had the momentum, and just because I hit jump, you cancelled it out. You little shit. Okay, I want to actually take the time to study this one if they're gonna do this. Are they trying to do it from over there? Okay, so that's what they're doing. Oh, nice. Path Seeker? Hope they got the message. As for this one, I wonder if they went off to take a break. There's a respawn point right here, it's a lot closer. Or are you not wanting to use that checkpoint? In which case, Challenge Seeker. Or just another fool. See, this is the reason why I'm terrified sometimes. Because the number of possibilities, and the ways of confirming my methods... You're not gonna make it like that. Well, they're committed. And they're doing with all using Chibi. That is... even I wouldn't want to try and navigate this entire place with Chibi. That sounds like a fucking nightmare. Especially when playing my game, low personal game. In a world that prioritizes information, aphantasia may become a more problematic occurrence. Well, not aphantasia, fucking... I know it starts with A, but it's not that! Aphantasia should, if I remember right, is the disability that prevents one from being able to visualize objects in their own mind. Meanwhile... Alright, Discord, where the fuck are you? Oh wait, I've been muttering in Discord. Well, I hope I managed to sleep with that. Alright, so random links. Alexithymia. Okay, so that's the inability to put words to emotions. which it feels like what a lot of autistic people have a problem with, let alone knowing how to navigate around other people's emotions because of it. We may be able to read the room, but it's no use if we don't understand what the fuck is going on. Ah, that lost me speed. Damn it. Oh well. Only so much you can get away with. After all, to leave an impact means you didn't get away with it. Hence why I don't think I can get away with dumb shit. Whoever tries to nail with me if that's an assumption, can you please fuck off? After all, what's more valuable to me? The ability to get what I want? Or the ability to interact with others peacefully? Because I can tell you, the second one is not priority number 2. Priority number 1 should be taking care of myself and making sure I can get what I want. But if I focus solely on that, then I'll actually hinder my abilities to become more than just, you know, another number or face in the crowd. At the same time, if I lose myself entirely to a specific way of doing things, then I'll also be limiting myself. With the patches of ice, that's possible. You're still here. Oh, I get to study them doing this. Yep, you aim for the upper area. Timing on it is tight, though. You need to have momentum before you hit it. And they're going for a consistent spot. And I wish them luck. They're making more progress in overall. Ah, you really need speed there. You need so much speed it isn't funny. Not for the actual jump itself, you need that speed instead for getting to the jump. The further away, the more speed you can build up, but the longer it takes to get there. So what's the cost of it? Nope. I mean, this is a good opportunity to practice. Oh, that would have possibly made it. I'm gonna try doing that again myself. Because the detail here is standing in the ice, in the water, on the ice, as a starting point. Are they trying to preserve momentum? Not a bad idea, but it's not possible with all the snow here. Where'd my acquaintance go? Aww. If they thought I was annoying, that's fair. Yeah, no. Building up speed while going around that centerpiece? Too big of a restriction. I'm not able to pull it off yet. Ooh. No, that's not gonna be enough speed either. Now this will. Oh yeah, more than enough. Full-bird speed cap, fuck you. Means I have to build up speed like this. And then let it go off in its natural direction in order to maintain it. Or not. Maybe I'm overthinking it. My meandering wanderings and other bullshit aside, all of these are just possibilities and thoughts that are not things that can actively be applied to the real world yet. Hence, why even though I feel confident in this, I don't want to actually go and take action on it. The only thing I can take action on is trying to stabilize my own life and get myself at least to the basic level of living that neurotypical is dealing with. In the midst of this confusing world, that's still a tall order, but hey, if I can at least be average in that regard, I'll be happy. Okay, but that means you'll have to learn how to fill out taxes and have a job, and it's like, yep, it's the whole reason why I don't want to fucking do it. At the same time, okay, so then do you plan on depending on others your whole life? And it's like, on one hand, that sounds like an option. However, that doesn't feel right, because I know I can at least do things. I just can't do them in the same regards that other people can. It's not because I'm special, it's because I'm stupid. So was that the brick over there? No, that was a bird. No, having my mental state be inconsistent is actually a good defensive mechanism to those who would try to manipulate me or otherwise. Ah, fuck, it's gotten harder. However, it also comes with severe disadvantages that I'm still trying to work around. I am my own experiment. After all, it would be unethical to do this on anyone else. And if I'm going to be a fucking lab rat, then I'll at least be my own fucking lab rat instead of for someone else. Fuck off with that shit. Alright. You keep moving the goalpost. You're right, I do. But that's because it's what I want to do. I'm not moving the goalpost because I want to be cool to myself. I'm doing it because I feel like doing it. Okay, but isn't that still kind of unreasonable? Absolutely, I don't want to get into the habit of doing this around other people, because that would just be mean to them. At the same time, though, it's not just being able to do it in a positive direction. Being able to accept that I can't reach my goal is also, in and of itself, a form of moving the goalposts. Or that someone can't do as I expected is, in and of itself, the same thing. Does one have a different impact than the other? Absolutely. To avoid giving praise just by moving goalposts is so manipulatively shallow. Oh. This is cute. I can't give you a heart, but I'll give you a thumbs up. Alright, let's see what you got. Ugh. At the same time, to shift goalposts from a higher one to a lower one can actually be very insulting and demotivating for some people, so it's essentially like saying the same as giving up on them to some of them. Thank you for the wax. Damn, how do you do that? Oh yeah, you probably got your candle out in time. That's how. Aw, they've even got some personality in there. I wish I could move the camera around a little. And again, thank you. My priorities don't need to be everyone's priorities. Because if I let people have their own priorities, then sometimes I'll get benefits from them focusing on their own thing. At the same time, there will still be occasions where I need to focus a group of people's priorities, hence why I want to learn how to be a good leader, even if I fucking suck at it. Okay, so I don't need to worry about... Okay, that'll get itself in time. Oh. Nice. Damn it. Thank you for the recharge. There we go. I mean, you could do an imitation of parallel processing if you were to switch between tasks fast enough, but it wouldn't be actual parallel processing. Because then you're just swapping available resources around instead of, you know, contributing equal amounts of resources to both things. Sure, it can get you somewhere, but it's not going to get you where you want to go. And I tried learning how to do this all because I saw it in fucking fiction. Yeah, no, I'm a fucking fool. I'm not the same, but I'm not better. I'm not the same as other people, but that doesn't make me better or worse than them. It just makes me a person. I don't care how many people I have to tell that to, even including myself. I'll remind myself a million times if need be. Because though attitude and ego may be required to do some things, it doesn't mean I want to lose myself in them. I would hate to see what my conceptual skill tree looks like right now, because it probably looks like a mangled fucking mess. Oh, but I think I'd enjoy seeing someone else react to it much more. Just so that way I can see them suffer in a way that doesn't derive them any actual pain. Casual suffering, not actual suffering. No thank you, fuck off with that. Let's fucking go! A world in motion. A world in motion without emotion has no life at all. One little extra candle, 434, and that's the end. Goodbye. Oh, not completely. VR chat. They probably muted him, didn't they? I hope they did, if they're still awake. Because even if... VR chat, I fucking hate you and your disk write error. Alright, what the fuck is it now? App data. Local low. VR chat. Yes. Output log. Just a few moments ago. Udon Manager on scene mode took 0.07 and then it just cuts off. Because it was trying to write to a different location that it didn't have access to, but that it should have access to, but no, my computer's being fucking stupid. Because of its age and how far I've pushed its capabilities. Have a good night, motherfuckers. Have a good night, you fools.